All right. Red Sox traded Rafael Devers and 603 text on the Subaru of New England text line for you, Curtis. And it says, "Shut up, Curtis, you fraud. A guy making $300 million wouldn't do what his boss wanted him to do, so he got traded. Good move by the Red Sox."
I can tell right now you're 80 years old. Good morning. Hopefully you're not driving too fast.
We have some leads left, including this one from Courtney. Hey, Courtney.
Hello, good morning, everybody. Mine will be quick because Curtis did a great job with his lead, but I want to quote the great Maeve from Mobland. She said, "Follow the money." And let me read what the Liverpool Echo wrote as a headline on Friday. Liverpool have already committed to spending a potential $176 million this summer, the most they have ever spent in a single transfer window, but the Reds are only just getting started. For that to happen on Friday and for Rafael Devers to get traded with his entire salary on Sunday is a bit perfect. It's too perfect for John Henry to say, oh, it's just a coincidence. Liverpool has been playing great. They're coming off a parade season, and that is where their attention is. They don't care about the Red Sox. They don't care about the Penguins. I think the Red Sox are probably third on their list of care, but all their focus is on Liverpool. It's too coincidental for there not to be any ties between where their money is going and the fact that Rafael Devers at the end of the day was about money.
Okay. Courtney, thank you. Wiggy, good morning.
All right, good morning. So, I mean, I don't really know which direction to go in because there's so many avenues. Well, at least guess what? You don't have to worry about who's going to place first base no more. Now you got to figure out who's going to DH because Devers is no longer there. It's going to be interesting to see because it was crazy after the game yesterday when I got back to the crib. I just happened to throw it on ESPN, and San Fran was playing, and they were playing the Dodgers, so they were talking about Devers going to the Dodgers. It's going to be interesting to see.
To San Francisco.
San Francisco. Yeah, but San Francisco is playing the Dodgers.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting to see what goes on with Devers because the third baseman that they have for the San Francisco Giants.
Golden Glove winner, locked down forever.
Right.
So Rafael Devers is not going to play any third base out there.
Right. So is he going to be happy with just playing DH, which it seemed like he was pretty happy to be DHing here in Boston?
He was?
Well, I mean, initially he wasn't. Initially he wasn't.
But
the
then he bought
spin
in.
from you is unbelievable.
No, but initially he wasn't.
You and Courtney, are you on the payroll for Rafael Devers?
No, and I've never gotten any merch, by the way, Sam. I'm willing, able and willing. But yes, he wasn't in the beginning. Then he bought in. And then everybody tries to tie it into the fact that then they wanted to move him to first base after he bought into DH.
Which the whole first base thing I think is kind of like, I'm not buying it because Toro has been playing really good, not only in the field but at the plate. So I don't really like seeing him going to San Francisco and being like, all right, if I don't have a chance to play third base, then he's going to be, have a pissy attitude there. The Red Sox, could have handled this situation in the beginning from Breslow to Kennedy to Cora to Henry when you signed Bregman, but you didn't. It's just going to be interesting to watch him go out there, DH for San Fran, and you're going to now look at him and what he's able to do there and basically go, so we moved on from a guy because we weren't willing to, all right, take maybe a little bit of a pissy attitude.
So they were not willing to make exceptions for an exceptional player.
Bingo.
Which is what you always want organizations to do.
Which I have no problem with that when a guy's as productive and he's not really clubhouse, I don't want to use cancer, I don't want to use disease, clubhouse problem, right?
Yeah.
So you kind of suck it up. He's still going to the plate and he's still raking.
Yep.
Baseball players are different. They can have, I can't say the word issy no more because Shime got in my ear. They can have bad attitudes and still go out there and play.
Okay. That gets us to my lead. And I understand that this may not be a popular opinion currently. This hurts, and it says, I think, that they at some point have decided that this team is maybe a wild card team, and they made the decision that whether it's mostly money or mostly attitude, that they need to make a change. I will say that in the long run, even though it hurts right now, I think this may be the best decision for this baseball team because of what you saw attitude-wise from Rafael Devers. And you're saying that you just sit back and accept it and take it because the guy is certainly one of the top 5, top 10, if not top 5 hitters in the game. But you're talking about a guy who called management out publicly, who just a few weeks ago yogged it out when he should be running it out to first base. A guy who apparently was pissed because they didn't run the Alex Bregman decision by him first, as if he runs the entire franchise. I just think that when you have somebody when you have a team of younger guys, and you have somebody who is unwilling to help out when you need it and display a general team attitude and you're committed to that player for 8 years and a lot of money, that you have to make a tough decision. And I think in the long run, the one caveat I will give Curtis is they can't just take the savings on Rafael Devers and put it in their pocket. They got to invest going forward. But I think
what evidence is there of that they're going to do that?
They extended Garrett Crochet.
Right, that's not a free agent. But I'm saying that in terms
they went out and got Alex Bregman.
Right, that was great, and that was a good signing that we praised, but that was 3 years, 120. We're talking about a $300 million contract. Do you think this ownership group will give another $300 million contract?
I am hopeful.
I don't know. I mean, if Curtis is right and is about the money, then they won't. The whole Juan Soto thing was just, smoke and mirrors to keep people happy. I don't know who the next big free agent shoe to drop. I know Shine brought up Paul Skeens, the kid from Pittsburgh, but they already have their hog in a pitcher. So
Shine just wants Olivia Dunn to come along with him.
Definitely.
Who's the next positional player that's going to be available?
She would set back broadcasting if we had her on.
That the Red Sox could potentially be in on. Right, and then we won't know that until we see that next guy.
But Greg and Wiggy, and I'm sorry, I'm very frustrated today. Both things were important. The attitude was the most important part at the beginning, because if the attitude is good, we're not having this conversation. So you are right on that. However, the manner in which you allow yourself to tolerate a massive expenditure has shifted. Manny Ramirez was the best hitter I ever saw, and he was a donkey. But they tolerated it, and they won 2 World Series because to them back then, winning superseded everything else. That is no longer the case. And to make this trade, I know it had been going on for weeks, the negotiations back and forth. When you have literally just turned your season around, you quit on it. Like, what? You quit on your season not even halfway through. If it was an issue, whatever the issue was has gotten much better. Was it getting worse or better, guys?
Better.
So why do this now? What was the urgency? What was the need other than to get under the CBT? Give me one reason you would do this.
508 texter said that was a short list that I gave. I mean, I can come up with other things. You needed the guy. Bregman got hurt. You needed him to play third base. That's what he was fighting about from the start, and then he wouldn't do it. Then Cassis went down. You needed him to play a few games at first. He wouldn't do it. But he dramatically went out there and started fielding ground balls in warm-ups at shortstop, a giant middle finger F you to everybody.
How about the middle finger of the home run that gave you the insurance to sweep the Yankees yesterday?
See, Greg, I understand what you're saying, but I don't think they looked at Devers in the organization and going, he's our best option at first base. I don't think they looked at that because the way Cora was playing, even the way Romy Gonzalez was playing in the field, I don't think they clearly didn't think he was the best option at third base. Because they had Bregman. And even when Bregman got hurt, I think they felt like Meyer might have been a better fielder or that they could move Toro there. I think they looked at Devers and said, we just want you to hit the baseball. And that's why they said initially moved to DH.
I think John Henry went out there and said those exact things to him. We need you. We invested in you. We need you a little bit here. And I think he got a look back and maybe a no, and then they decided that they needed to be out on him. And I get it.
No.
I get it. People are pissed about it.
Well, if I'm Devers, I say I've needed you, John Henry, to invest in this team like you used to, and where have you been? Now all of a sudden you're coming to Kansas City. I haven't seen your face in a year.
So
No, I can't.
you really believe?
And Sam was there doing knock-knock jokes. It was levity.
And this is, I don't know, this is where it's kind of hard for me to buy in, that they traded Devers because they got to a point where they're like, oh, we can't take him telling us no, he won't play first base no more.
In general, his attitude.
All right, in general, overall, I get that.
Yes, and I give him credit for having the nuts to do it. Like, it's tough to part with somebody like that. But if you think it's going to affect your organization, which is full now of young guys, prospects, who you want to understand what team means, then I appreciate the fact that they're willing to do it.
But I'll ask the question we always ask when it's other teams doing it. Did the Red Sox get better or worse after yesterday's trade?
They got worse.
Exactly.
I mean, much worse.
That's the issue. That's the issue that fans should have when you look at this team. Who cares if you don't agree with how Rafael Devers dealt with the situation at third base or first base? Who cares about the fact that you think that maybe the Red Sox are overpaying for a DH? The only thing that you should care about is the fact that Rafael Devers got moved and then started producing really well for the Red Sox, and now he's no longer on your team. And he was grown talent within your organization.
Do you think Cora was on board with the Devers trade?
Hell no.
No.
Okay.
I think it shows you who has all the power over there.
So you think Breslow was on board, or do you think this was
Did he sound like, when we asked him about Rafael Devers on this show on Thursday, like he was on board with what was coming? I think so.
I mean, I asked him about his feelings about Devers, and he said, I'm going to keep that to myself. It's just the Red Sox should always be the team acquiring the overpaid problem, not trading it away. You have the ability here because you spend $60 to park, $25 for a freaking crab roll at Fenway Park. It is offensive as a Boston sports fan to see what this ownership group has done, taking advantage of the people that spend their money for this team. There is zero excuse to make this trade now. The problem that existed was mostly fixed. You are playing your best baseball, thanks in large part to Devers, the best player on your team. You sweep the Yankees. You're over 500. And before you fly out to the West Coast for a big 9-game trip, you trade your best player, yank him off the plane, force him in a cab back to Fenway, just so you could get under the collective bargaining tax?
See, if I'm going to, maybe go to your side of the street, Greg, which you could maybe talk me there, then I think the organization felt like, yeah, they're making a little bit of a run, but that's not really who we are. So we'll come down from off this giant high of taking 2 out of 3 from the Yankees in the first series and then sweeping them 2 out of 3 from Tampa. But that's not really who we are. We'll come back down to earth, and the headache is not worth the problem for a team that isn't going anywhere, in their opinion.